I'm just about to reveal a genuine method that will allow you guys to start making money on Teespring.com even in 2022 and beyond, so let's get to work. But before we can do that, we really need to understand the business model behind this website. What do they actually do? Well, Teespring has basically put together all of the infrastructure, all of the processes and systems that need to be in place for us to successfully launch our own merch. In other words, guys, all you would have to do is connect to Teespring.com, upload your digital design, and they're gonna make sure that it actually gets printed on a physical item. In other words, this is a printing on demand service. You're gonna create your design digitally, and I'm about to walk you through that process as well. It's not gonna be too difficult. Then upload it onto teespring.com, paste it onto a certain item of your choice, ranging from phone cases to pillows to wallets, t-shirts, leggings, you name it, they got it. And then they're gonna make sure that the item actually gets manufactured, but only if there is a demand for it. I'm gonna show you how you can set up your own online store on teespring.com effortlessly. And moving on, whenever you generate a sale, teespring.com is gonna make sure that your item actually gets manufactured and shipped to your customer. So all you gotta do is come up with a unique design, and I'm also gonna help you with that. Then set up your own online store within teespring.com without any fancy technical skills, and then you're good to go. Teespring is literally gonna take care of 90% of the process, but they are not gonna keep 90% of the profits. Instead, they're only gonna keep a small commission. If you go over to youtube.com and you search for a Teespring tutorial or something along the lines of how to make money with Teespring, you're gonna find out that most of these videos are outdated. What do I mean by that? Well, most people will walk you through the process of creating a t-shirt design on Teespring and selling it. But that simply does not work in 2022 anymore because the competition is too high. The market is oversaturated when it comes to t-shirt designs. And for that reason, we need to be a little bit more creative. We're not going to be focusing on t-shirts, but we've got a wide range of other options: backpacks, caps, bags, phone cases. The list goes on. And I'm gonna show you a particular section, a particular niche that I absolutely love, and I think that's got the greatest potential, especially for a beginner. So let's dive right into it. Now guys, one thing that I want to mention though is that Teespring is not the only website that allows you to print items on demand. And so, in case for some reason Teespring does not accept your country, it is not available there, you can switch over to a different website, such as redbubble.com, Printful, and so on and so forth. They are very similar. But when it comes to Teespring, it's just one of the most popular options and one of the oldest in the niche, so I'm going for that one. But let me help you out even further. If we search for the best seller shirts on teespring.com, you will come across a few different designs that have actually sold hundreds or thousands of copies. Hundreds of such t-shirts have been sold on Teespring. But if you're paying attention here, what you're gonna notice is that there is nothing really out of the ordinary about these designs. What I mean is that you don't necessarily have to be a professional graphic designer with years of experience behind you to create such a design. Now, don't get me wrong, some of them are quite unique and they will take some effort. But take a look at this one. It is just a cool idea that's been put into practice, and that's it. And I'm pretty sure that anybody can create something very similar to that. And in fact, I'm gonna show you how you can do it as well. Again, no graphic design skills are needed. You don't need to be a Photoshop expert. I'll walk you through the process in a second. And here's another one that really surprised me. A very basic hoodie design with a cool text on it can actually work. And we can repeat that experiment on Redbubble, just to have more information to work with. So let's search for the best sellers on Redbubble and take a look. Well guys, there you have it. I want you to take a look at this one. Now, we're not even going to attempt creating such a design, because that takes a little bit of creativity, but instead we're gonna keep things very simple. And there are a lot of examples that illustrate that simplicity wins. It is all about having a cool design, something that really catches attention, and that is enough. But I'm going to further filter our selection because, just as mentioned before, we're not gonna be focusing on creating t-shirt designs. Those are simply not gonna sell in 2022 anymore. Again, the competition is really high. The market is too saturated, so we want to avoid that at all costs. Unless you have already built a personal brand and people absolutely love you, you've got a huge dedicated fan base, selling your own merch in the form of t-shirts is not gonna do it. And so here's what we are gonna do. What I want you guys to be focusing on moving forward is wall art. That may not make too much sense for now, but it will in a second. This is all about printable canvases, right? That people can just place on their wall. And take a look at this design right here. That is a pretty good one, to be honest, and it addresses a certain audience, a certain demographic, which makes the product a lot better. The more specific you can make it, the more chances you have of selling some copies. And here's another one. I hope everything comes out okay. This is just some very short, straight to the point inspirational text. It's got a great font, and that's what it took to create this design. And we can most certainly replicate that. Now, of course, some of them will have a pretty unique design, and replicating that will be quite difficult if you're not an artist or an illustrator. But you don't necessarily have to do it. That's the thing most people do not understand. And so guys, with no further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's create our design, list it on Redbubble or Teespring for sale, and let's make some money. What you want to do is connect to canva.com and search for wall art or canvas. As soon as you do that and you hit enter, you will come across a lot of different templates that are customizable. Over 11,000 to be more precise. In other words, guys, instead of just starting from scratch with a blank piece of paper that doesn't give you any sort of inspiration, you can at least start with this as reference. Take a look at this one. Hustle, eat, sleep, repeat. Now, that's a pretty good one in and of itself. But if we can add some more value to it, that is how we got a winner. And again, you've got 11,000 different templates to work with. Now, I would recommend that you also add your own touch to it and not just use the template as it appears on canva.com. You really want to take your time to create something special, because at the end of the day, that's what's gonna sell. Take a look at this one. If you can dream it, you can do it. It's got a pretty cool design. I'm sure you can add some more value. You can make it look even better, and that's all it takes. So let me find one that I really like, and I'll be back in a second. Let's play around with this one. For the sake of time here, I'm not gonna make too many changes to it, but I can play around. I could go ahead and change the colors, the font size, the text colors as well. Again, I'm in full control here, so I can do whatever I want to. But eventually, once you're done with that, once you're done creating your winner design, what you want to do is click on the share button and then download it. Just press that button and it's gonna download the PNG file onto your device, and that's precisely what you need to upload onto Teespring moving forward. Again, you do not have to go through the trouble of calling a manufacturer, having them create the actual product, making sure that it is printed all right. Teespring is gonna deal with all of that. Now, what you want to do is head back over to teespring.com and click on Start Designing. And you can even take a look at the trending products, and I highly recommend that you go for one of these. In other words, these items are already selling, and I think this one is just great, the die cut sticker. Unfortunately, I think our design is not that suitable for this particular item, and so you can go for a mug. But we don't have to stop there. We can keep exploring the possibilities. We're talking about tank tops, hoodies, apparel, accessories, even items for your home. Or you can take a look at these new items, and that is how you make sure that the competition is not too high, because these ones have just been implemented. We're talking about a phone case design or even an AirPods Pro case design if you want to create that. But let's go for the mock template. I really want to see what that will look like. So what I'm going to do right now is click on add image, and I've just uploaded my design. Now you want to drag it so that it really matches what you're trying to get there. You want to take your time to make sure that all of the dimensions are just perfect. And then you can switch over to the preview and take a look. This is what it will look like. But now I would try to make sure that the color actually matches the background that I've used there, or at least it is complementary so that we can make it look cool. And I think this is pretty good. Now guys, again, for the sake of simplicity, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this design, but I'm sure you can take the time to create something really special. You can do a far better job than I've done. But one important thing to keep in mind here is setting your price correctly. As you can see, it is basically gonna cost you about $9 to create this item. And so, if you list it for $17 for sale, that's gonna give you a $7.83 profit per sale. And you wanna make sure that you get a good enough profit for every sale so that this process is worth it for you financially. And remember, being in full control here, you can play around. You can keep adding designs for the right side of that mug, for the back side, and so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to the marketing side of this process, most of these platforms are going to get a lot of organic traffic. So you can just list your design, and as long as it looks cool, you might get a few sales here and there without boosting up your traffic artificially. But if you really want to make money with printing on demand, what you want to do is have a system in place that allows you to further promote your items. And from my experience, the best thing you can do is partner up with TikTok influencers. Why would that be? Well, because they've already got a huge fan base that they have built in years of posting content each and every single day, who absolutely love what they are doing. You can just pay them for a shout out and they're gonna promote your product, or you can just give them a percentage of your future revenue. But that is not always going to work, especially if you're starting out and they don't really trust the process. They don't really believe your product is gonna be successful. And I would rather focus on TikTok influencers that are not that big just yet. They're just growing, right? You don't want to go to somebody who's got 1 million followers on TikTok because they will charge you a lot. But all in all, having a good design in place and then using influencer marketing as a source of traffic can get you there. It is still gonna take some work. I'm pretty sure that your first design is not gonna be a winner, but it is all a numbers game and eventually you will get there. So that's it for now, and thanks for watching.